The Newsday continues here on One News Now. I'm Charles Lejano. Former Senator Bongbong Marcos failed to submit his verified answer to one petition questioning his eligibility to run for president. Ted Te, the lead counsel for civic groups who filed the petition, said Marcos's motion to extend the November 16 deadline was not granted. The 50-page petition filed on November 2 argued that Marcos's COC contained multiple false material representations. Marcos acknowledged receipt of the COMELEC summons on November 11, and the summons gave him an inextendable period of 5 days within which to submit his answer to the plea. On November 15, 1 day before the deadline, Marcos filed a motion for extension, which petitioners opposed yesterday. Te argues that Marcos's failure to comply with the summons should prevent his camp from submitting controverting evidence or filing a memorandum under the COMELEC's rules of procedure. Supporters of presidential hopeful Manny Pacquiao are eagerly waiting for his arrival in Malabon City, where the senator is expected to arrive any time now. To give us the latest on the ground, we now have Mon Gualvez on the line from Malabon. Good morning again, Mon. Could you tell us when Senator Manny Pacquiao's itinerary is like in Malabon, and do we know exactly what time he's set to arrive?
Hi, Charles. Good morning. Currently, he just arrived here in Malabon City. We're in right now. Just give you an update. He is doing a motorcade, giving out some t-shirts and ballers along the road to the residents of Malabon. He just finished his courtesy call with Malabon Mayor Lenlen Oreta. Senator Pacquiao camp said that Malabon has a big place in the heart of Senator Manny Pacquiao. As he started his construction, he started his career as a construction worker here in the city.
Right, Mon, you mentioned that Pacquiao has a meeting with Malabon Mayor Lenlen Oreta. Is this a sign of an endorsement already for Pacquiao's presidential bid?
That we need to ask to Mayor Lenlen Oreta, Charles, but in a short pre-interview with Malabon Mayor Lenlen Oreta, he said that this is not an endorsement. Rather, this is just a welcoming to Senator Pacquiao's visit in the city. And he also said that Manny Pacquiao is an idol, especially in boxing. That's why he welcomed the senator with a big hand here in Malabon City.
Mon, let's circle back a few weeks ago to this rift between President Duterte and Manny Pacquiao over at PDP Laban. And fast forward to today, PDP Laban doesn't have any official presidential and vice presidential candidates. Have we heard from Senator Pacquiao regarding this?
Yes, sir. Actually, he is somehow dismayed on the results, or actually on the outcome on PDP Laban, in which there is no presidential and vice presidential official candidates from the party itself. And he said that he is not surprised with the outcome because, as mentioned by Senator Manny Pacquiao, this is actually the original plan of the 2C faction to actually make the party in a bad light.
Well, thank you very much for that update. That was Mon Gualvez reporting on the line from Malabon. Malacanang insists that testing czar Vince Dizon is still part of the Duterte government. Acting spokesperson Carlo Nograles denied reports that Dizon has joined the campaign team of presidential aspirant Isko Moreno. Nograles explained that Dizon is still a member of the cabinet as presidential advisor for COVID-19 response. That's despite Acción Democrático saying Dizon will serve as their deputy campaign manager. Former presidential spokesperson and senatorial aspirant Harry Roque claims he persuaded President Duterte to ignore ABS-CBN's franchise issue on 3 occasions. On One News' The Chiefs, Roque said he tried to convince Duterte to allow the renewal of ABS-CBN's franchise. Roque also believes that the president never attacked media institutions, noting that Duterte has never filed a libel suit in his life, despite all of the criticisms hurled against him. And he said the media hitting the president and vice versa is only a sign of a healthy democracy. But the former spokesperson said preventing the ABS-CBN shutdown was no longer within the president's power, as only Congress has the ability to grant the network a franchise.
I actually succeeded already in the president agreeing for me to make a public announcement that members of Congress can vote according to their conscience, and I hope you will remember that. No? So as far as I'm concerned, as an exponent of freedom of the press, I did what I could, but the reality is it was the call of Congress.
The Western Command in Palawan reports that 3 Chinese Coast Guard vessels blocked and water cannoned 2 Philippine supply boats on Tuesday. According to the report, the Philippine boats were transporting food supplies to military personnel in the Ayungin Shoal when the incident happened. Though no one was hurt, the Philippine vessels had to abort their resupply mission. Foreign Affairs Secretary Teddy Boy Locsin says he has conveyed his outrage, condemnation, and protest of the incident to Chinese officials, including the ambassador to China, Huang Xilian. Locsin says he reminded China that the supply vessels are covered by the Philippines' Mutual Defense Treaty with the U.S. He also noted that China's acts were illegal, as these had no law enforcement rights in and around those areas. Locsin adds that the Philippines will continue to provide supplies to its troops in the Ayungin Shoal. The Foreign Affairs Secretary notes Philippine ships do not need to ask permission to do what they need to do in our own territory. Infectious diseases expert Jean Solante warns the public against bringing children outdoors. Speaking with the chiefs, Solante explained that COVID-19 case transmission isn't entirely gone, and that kids are also part of the vulnerable population.
Pag bata ka, hindi ka naman exempted doon sa severe, critical. Although sa data, masasabi natin na mas mataas pa rin yung severity sa mga adult, pero you're not exempted. You still can get the infection. We don't know what will happen.
Another expert also said that parents and guardians must exercise due diligence when allowing their kids to go out. In an interview with Radyo 5, Philippine Pediatric Society's Fatima Jimenez emphasized that younger children cannot be vaccinated, carry the coronavirus.
I know that you are responsible parents. So if there is no opportunity naman na, if there is no reason na compelling na ilalabas ang mga bata na hindi pa bakunado, we just exercise due diligence kung tayo ay lalabas for a very good reason. Dahil ang mga bata po walang bakuna, so parang kinokokun lang ng mga magulang at yung mga caretakers kasi they're the ones who have been vaccinated. Sila ang source ng protection, but they themselves hindi pa nababakuna, wala pa tayong recommendation for children who are 12 and below to be vaccinated.
Incidents of cybercrimes targeting financial accounts have grown threefold over the course of the pandemic. Lenders now want their phones to be registered to help curb the trend. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez gives us the front seat to the story.
In the thick of the pandemic, cybercrimes have become one of the fastest growing threats in the country. Investment scams, phishing, identity fraud, hacking. The Bankers Association of the Philippines has been tracking all of these, and it says the number of incidences has jumped.
The number of incidences have gone up by threefold since the pandemic. We're now seeing close to around 900 a month to 1,000 a month.
The BAP is an organization of the country's largest banks, so their data would include reports from, for example, BDO, BPI, Metrobank, Security Bank, etc. It also says the most common incidences revolve around 3 types of fraud.
The first one is around phishing. Clients are inveigled to give up their personal information, primarily their user IDs, their passwords. Second, the form is via identity theft. Third, which is targeting really small firms.
Hoxton says banks now have a database so that, for instance, if one bank is victimized, the others can see what happened and can be forewarned. They're also pushing for the mandatory registration of SIM cards so that all numbers can be traced. Lastly, the BAP is working with lawmakers to criminalize things like phishing or when someone sells their bank accounts to syndicates for use and fraud. But Hoxon also warns that criminals are getting more sophisticated when it comes to stealing your personal info.
For example, phishing. Somebody calls you up, tells you, hey, your account has been compromised. We need your help now to lock your account. And the caller speaks well. Some clients inadvertently divulge personal information.
The BAP and PNP Anti-Cybercrime Group would like to remind everyone to never give out their personal details over the phone. Mobile journalist Pamela Vasquez, We Are One News.
Here's a quick look at some of today's headlines. 126 party list applicants for next year's polls have been disqualified. A study shows supporters of the administration are more likely to believe in fake news. And Miss Universe Philippines 2021, Beatriz Luigi Gomez, has given her official send-off ceremony to the 70th Miss Universe competition. And those are the top stories at this hour. Join us later at 2 p.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.